here on the unceded homelands of the sovereign Cossack Abenaki people, we gather in humble respect and abundant gratitude that we may celebrate this precious living world together. We offer respect to the elders, both past and present, for the reverence with which they held the earth and everything upon it. In this same spirit, we will revere, respect, and protect these lands and waters for as long as we live upon them. Good morning. My name is Tom Shurston, and my pronouns are he and him, and I am your worship associate this morning. On behalf of the entire worship team, including the very vital tech support we have, I'm delighted to welcome all of you, both those of you here in the sanctuary and those watching on the live stream. Thank you for joining us in this time of worship. We deeply appreciate your presence and fellowship as part of our beloved Unitarian Church of Montpelier. Since 1864, this Unitarian Universalist congregation has been a sanctuary for those seeking spiritual sustenance as well as peace and justice in the world. Now, with the complexities of today's world, the solace we share at UCM helps us remain grounded in a peaceful spirit to honor our commitments to justice and integrity. Today, we are continuing on this crucial path of connection. Please know that we have hearing assist devices available on the table at the rear of the sanctuary. Also, the fidget bags of the past, which were designed to keep little hands busy, have been upgraded to a soul work activity cart, which is designed to keep minds busy, regardless of the size of the hands. The hope is that a number of youth and adults checking out the soul work activity cart will increase. Also, please know that you can listen to and watch the service in the fireplace room downstairs if you should need to leave the sanctuary for any reason. If you have a personal concern, challenge, or loss that calls for our love, support, and prayers as a spiritual community, we have a member of the lay pastoral care team who will be available here in the sanctuary after the service if you would like to share more deeply. This morning, our lay pastoral caregiver is Mary Jane Olson. Thank you, Mary Jane. It's always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests join us for worship. If this is your first or second time visiting and you wish to do so, we invite you to stand or wave so that we might offer you a special welcome. And whether you wave your hand or not, you are welcome to be here. Any who are newcomers to our congregation and worship services are encouraged to join us at coffee hour immediately following the service so that we can offer you a more personal welcome. Also, you're encouraged to fill out the welcome form so that we can connect with you outside of the service. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I invite you now to turn to your neighbors from your seats here in the sanctuary and offer one another your greetings. Thank you for sharing these warm greetings. You're invited to continue your conversations at coffee hour. And now let's take a deep breath, make sure our cell phones are silenced, and enter more deeply into our time of worship with the prelude.
Our opening words this morning are by Jacob Trapp. Please join me in opening our service by responding with the words that are italicized. The words will be projected up front and can also be found in the gray hymnal, number 441. To worship is to stand in awe under a heaven of stars, before a flower, a leaf in sunlight, or a grain of sand. We'll find our way to unity in this reading. To worship is to work with dedication and with skill. It is to pause from work and listen to a strain of music. Worship is a loneliness seeking communion. It is a thirsty land crying out for rain. Worship is kindred fire within our hearts. It moves through deeds of kindness and through acts of love. Worship is the mystery within us, reaching out to the mystery beyond. It is an inarticulate silence, yearning to speak. It is the window of the moment, open to the sky of the eternal. In this spirit, let us worship together this morning. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 1008 in the teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Let us join our voices.
Let us now light the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. To light the chalice this morning, we welcome Elsie Murphy. And as Elsie lights a chalice, I invite you to light a chalice at home if you have one nearby. What a good idea. Whoa. We light this flame, an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to lead with truth and compassion. Before we together say the covenant, I'll read the short introductory paragraph to the document. We are the Unitarian Church of Montpelier. We are bound together by love within this safe and nurturing community. We gather as we are and as we aspire to be. We accept some discomfort to stretch beyond past boundaries and habits. Please join now in saying our congregational covenant printed in the order of service. We covenant to speak honestly and listen deeply to each other and the voice within. Treat each other with compassion and honor our differences. Take responsibility for the impact of our words, actions, and inactions have on each other. Support each other in times of need and of grief, and celebrate the beauty and joy in our lives. Honor the gifts of the past and be gentle with each other as we grow. Encourage each other in the brave work of creating a more beloved community and a healthy, sustainable world, and forgive each other and start again.
Today is a big day in our spiritual exploration program, which is our program for children and youth. But first, a quick reminder that our No Rehearsal Christmas pageant is next Sunday, just a week from today. And if you're thinking, already? And you realize you forgot to start working on your costume weeks ago, don't worry, no rehearsal truly means no stress and all fun. Everyone is invited to come dressed as angels, shepherds, or wise people. Costumes can be super simple. Angels, think white and sparkly. Shepherds, a robe or a scarf. Magi, bright colors, shiny fabric, a little bling. And if you don't have time to find something, we'll have extra costumes ready the day of. The most important thing is not what you're wearing, but that you are a part of this beautiful shared telling of the Christmas nativity story. And it won't be the same without you. And today, our middle school youth group, with the help from our pre-K to grade 4 children, will be organizing all the wonderful items collected for our Bag of Basics drive. A big, big, big thank you to everyone who colored bags, made cards, gathered donations. There are so many amazing donations from all of us here, and helped spread the word. Bags will be available after service on the bench in the vestibule by the School Street exit. If one would be helpful for you, your family, or someone you know, please take one home today or email me and we'll make sure to get one to you. When the children and youth head out today, everyone will exit through this door here. Our pre-K through 4 group will go to the children's chapel, and youth group will go to the room across the hall in the classroom, where you will find all the donations that need to be organized today, and there's a lot, so we need everyone's help. If it is your child's first time in our program, we welcome you today, and we're so happy that you're here. And you are welcome to come with your child, fill out a brief registration form, and then return to service, or you can stay and join the activities in our spiritual exploration program today. Pickup for the younger kids will be at 11:15 in the room between the vestry and the vestibule. And now we will sing the children out as they go.
It's a vibrant church that has this many kids. A big thank you to all who participated in this year's 131st Annual Holiday Fair. So many loving hands made the fair possible. From bakers to wreath decorators, musicians to cocoa makers, table helpers to shoppers, the fair is truly a community effort. So far, the fair has raised $9,688 in revenue. And Sunday sales happen today after the service in the vestry so we can continue spreading the holiday cheer. If you're wondering about our new weather patterns, then plan to meet with the Climate Action Team today in the fireplace room after coffee hour. Kara Robacek, the Energy Actions Network Deputy Director and Network Manager, will present the most significant findings of the network's annual report for Vermont on energy affordability and emissions. She will discuss how we use energy and how our energy choices impact both energy cost burdens and climate pollution. All of these activities and others are in the weekly e-news, which is updated and prepared for its Friday morning publication. It is the absolute best source of information about how you can connect with others and serve our community. Our giving is a spiritual act, and our generosity is a form of love and gratitude that helps us to practice Unitarian Universalism in support of our shared values with our collective resources. Charity is central to the well-being of our church community and beyond, as well as primary to our own sense of self. The offering pouches are at the ends of the pews on the side aisles, and they may be passed to the center aisle for collection. Each month through the UCM Community Pouch Program, we share part of our collection with an important church fund or an organization aligned with our values. The December UCM Community Pouch recipient is Another Way, which is voluntary, peer-run support for people who don't fit well with conventional resources. Another Way is grateful for our support for their programs, which include civil rights advocacy for those subject to the psychiatric system and support for those speaking out against attempts to criminalize homelessness and mental health conditions. To contribute to Another Way, make checks payable to Another Way, Inc., I-N-C, and mail to Post Office Box 506 in Montpelier, P.O. Box 506 in Montpelier, 05601. Or you can donate with your smartphone. Text GIVE to 802-266-4848. That's 802-266-4848. Text the amount and text pouch. You may also write Community Pouch on the memo line of your check. Half of our cash offerings will go to our pouch recipient. The other half will directly support the mission and ministry of this congregation. Checks will go to the church unless otherwise designated. We are so grateful and thankful to each and every one of you for your generosity in its many forms. Your offering is greatly received. Our choir anthem today, Splendor of Day, is based on the well-known musical piece, Thanks Be to Thee, attributed to George Friedrich Handel of Messiah fame. We have used this beautiful reverential music to set the words of the great American poet Walt Whitman, who celebrated all things embodied, everyday experiences, and ordinary people. Here are the words. Splendor of day, floating and filling me, you, earth, and life, till the last ray gleams, I sing. Illustrious mystery, motion in all beings, illustrious passing light, all that I see, hear, and touch, every one. Mouth of my soul, seeing perfection, uttering gladness, and faithfully praising things.
We have to be sure that Sarah and me can see each other now. We have to make it move
Thank you, choir, and thanks to all of you for your financial gifts so generously offered today. They are received with deep gratitude for the difference that they allow us to make for one another in this congregation and in our broader community. Thank you. In this, our community of care and belonging, we hold one another with love in times of joy and in times of sorrow. And in that spirit, we share in a ritual of lighting candles of joy and concern twice a month. During the candle lighting time, you may wish to come forward to share a special joy or a milestone and invite us to celebrate with you. You might wish to share a personal concern or a challenge or loss that calls for our love and support as a spiritual community. In just a moment, you will be invited to come forward to share your name and to briefly share in a sentence or two, if you can do that, the joy or concern that's on your heart before lighting a candle. And if you wish, you can come forward and light a candle in silence. As a reminder to all, the service is being live streamed, and anything shared here in the sanctuary is being shared with those who are joining us online. And this portion of the service will be removed before we post the video recording in our service archive. If you're joining the worship on live stream, you're invited to share a joy or concern in the chat if you wish. And we light a final candle for all of those joys, gratitudes, sorrows that we are holding in the silence of our hearts this morning. Let us continue in this time of meditation and prayer. It is so clear that our hearts are full, overflowing with pain and compassion, overflowing with simple joys. It is amazing that our hearts don't just shatter each day. And sometimes they do. But our hearts are also strong. I invite you, as we breathe together, to feel and to know the strength of your own heart. To feel and know the strength of the love that extends beyond you, that's present in the neighbor by your side, that's present in the person 2 pews ahead of you and 2 pews behind you. Our hearts are fragile, but they are strong. They are tender, and they are courageous. Let us give thanks for the paradox, the complexity, and the beauty of this life we live. And let us share in a few moments of quiet together. This is the poem Winter Morning by James Cruz. When I can no longer say thank you for this new day and the waking into it, for the cold scrape of the kitchen chair and the ticking of the space heater glowing orange as it warms the floor near my feet, I know it is because I've been fooled again by the selfish, unruly man who lives in me and believes he deserves only safety and comfort. But if I pause, as I do now, and watch the streetlights outside winking off one by one like old men closing their cloudy eyes, if I listen to my tired neighbors slamming car doors hard against the morning and see the steaming coffee in their mugs, kissing their chapped lips as they sip and exhale each of their worries white into the icy air around their faces, then I can remember this one life is a gift each of us was handed and told to open. Untie the bow and tear off the paper. Look inside and be grateful for whatever you find, even if it is only the scent of a tangerine that lingers on the fingers long after you've finished peeling it. How do we find that which is worthy of our reverence in the midst of our everyday living? In a world fluent in irony and quick dismissals, reverence can feel like an old-fashioned kind of word, something out of step with our postmodern lives. We're so often quick to treat things with irreverence, with satire, with a certain casual disregard for tradition, authority, and institutions that once held our respect, be it the church, the classroom, parental authority, even the presidency. Yet when reverence slips from our vocabulary, something essential slips with it. Its absence is tied to a loss of respect for life itself and for the beauty that still threads through our days, those things that quietly ennoble our living. James Cruz begins his poem with a kind of confession, one that I, too, am sometimes hesitant to make, that there are days when gratitude does not come easily, days when it's easier to be fooled by my own impatient or selfish impulses, or to be worn down by the steady challenges of ordinary life. And most of our living is indeed ordinary. We wake each morning alone or beside someone, step into routines that are so familiar that they begin to blur. Preparing breakfast, picking up the paper, heading to work or dropping off kids, or for some, shaping the long hours of an unstructured day. We dress ourselves, gather our things, move through the motions we know by heart, and after a while, all of this can feel so mundane that we forget to look at it closely. But it is precisely here, in the ordinariness of our days, where reverence can take root. Like in Cruz's poem, we are invited to be transformed by the small, unremarkable moments that bring more beauty, more joy, more meaning into our lives. He reminds us that this one life is a gift each of us was handed, and that when we pause to notice the ordinary, the sunrise or the moonrise, we may once again look inside and be grateful for whatever we find. We need not search far to encounter the sacred. It shimmers in the quotidian, the glow of streetlights at dusk, the warmth of a mug between our palms, the familiar faces of our neighbors. Each time we pause to notice, we touch a moment of holiness, an encounter with the good, a reminder of our interdependence, a gentle awakening to the simple joys of living. And only after grounding ourselves in these familiar experiences do we see more clearly what reverence means. Reverence often implies a kind of holiness or sacredness, a gravitas and a seriousness. We might associate it with religious settings, reverence for authority or for objects, things that are set apart from our daily lives. And because of that, the word might not resonate with all of us. But reverence doesn't need to be limited to special occasions or solemn rituals. It can be held within a gesture of thanks, an embrace, a song. Reverence is an attitude, a stance that we hold toward life. In the words of Kendall Gibbons, the holy is nothing but the ordinary, held up to the light and profoundly seen. Our former Unitarian Universalist Association president, the Reverend William Sinkford, spoke many years ago now of reclaiming the language of reverence in our tradition. And for him, this was sparked by an experience he had at the bedside of his then teenage son, who was close to death. He sat beside his son's hospital bed, and he felt accompanied by something outside of himself. He wrote about this experience. I felt the hands of a loving universe reaching out to hold. The hands of God, the spirit of life. The name was unimportant. I knew that I did not have to walk that path alone, that there is a love that has never broken faith with us and never will. This experience contributed to his movement toward reclaiming reverence, a reminder that reverence is born not only in the extraordinary and transcendent, but in the very heart of our living. Adopting a language of reverence is not dependent on one's theological beliefs. In the small booklet called Humanist Voices in Unitarian Universalism, Carol Hepikoski writes the following: those of us who call ourselves religious humanists have a strong reverence for life. Many of us experience a deep sense of awe before the mystery of life and death, those powers greater than ourselves. We share a respect for science and reason, and we are willing to live with ambiguity, to live without definitive answers. We share a deep concern about injustice and the fate of human life, indeed of all life on this planet, our home in the universe. We identify with the human story even as we recognize it as intimately tied to the story of the rest of this world. Reverence, then, is not limited to what is set apart from us. It belongs in our everyday lives, right here on earth. Reverence asks us to shine a light where dignity exists and where it can be amplified in any moment. And we can ask ourselves, how might I contribute to a greater sense of respect and worth for those that I encounter? How might we together meet the moment with reverence? The sacred and the profane are often thought of as belonging in two different worlds. And our culture, our broader culture, has separated them. The sacred belonging to some distant sphere of holiness, the profane present only in the mundane routines of life. And yet these sacred and holy moments can be found all around us. They meet in the ordinariness of the here and now. I'll share this moment when this meeting was plain to me. Many summers ago, before my family moved to Montpelier, and before I began serving here as your minister, I was living here in town with my spouse, who was completing an internship with the state. And we had one car, but I had a doctor's appointment up at CVMC. Spoiler alert, that was the summer I was pregnant with Liam. With plenty of time that day, I decided to take the bus. We no longer have a route, unfortunately, to the hospital, but at that time we did. The driver was training someone new that day, and he seemed to take such great pleasure in sharing the ins and outs of his job with his trainee. At one stop, a passenger was using a wheelchair and was getting on the bus, and the driver carefully operated the lift, assisted that passenger on board. And the lesson, he said to his trainee, was that people value their independence, and you have to value that desire in others. Now, I'm sure the driver of that bus that day would not claim that there was anything sacred happening in that 20-minute bus ride. And yet, as ordinary as it was, it contained within it for me this inner beauty. Jacob Trapp's words from our opening come to mind. To worship is to work with dedication and with skill. And that was what I witnessed that day, holding up that ordinary moment of human exchange with a profound witness. I could see the holy that was present. We also live in a time of great paradox. Of course, life is suffused with the day-to-day moments of this kind of ordinary holiness, while we also witness atrocities near and far that break our hearts. We live with the presence of such beauty and joy alongside such suffering. And this is why I believe that reverence for the ordinary is actually an act of resistance. It is to say, though there is pain, though much points to the contrary, still there is beauty. Still there is good. Still there is dignity. And yes, my heart can sing for the joy of being alive and for the small acts of kindness, the glimpses of creation, the healing music that might cross my path. Reverence for the ordinary doesn't mean denying suffering or ignoring pain. It doesn't suggest that needs for basic human survival should go unmet. Instead, when we are open to witnessing the holy in the everyday, we are open to the deep connection that we share with others and the world around us. And that connection can become a source of abundance, a source that is the well of gratitude that can soothe our souls and motivate our service. It's easier, of course, to awaken to the holiness of the world when the sun is shining and worries aren't weighing us down. But even when our senses are sluggish or our minds are pulled elsewhere, we can invite our hearts to open with attention and to see, to hear, to touch and smell with reverence what and who is present before us. If we choose to be attuned, we will find the sacred within the profane. And I believe that we need to store up these moments of recognizing that reverence in the ordinary to help strengthen our belief in a world that contains beauty and goodness, to cultivate within ourselves a habit of the heart that allows us to praise the ordinary even when it's the ordinary that begins to wear us down. This simple practice can have profound effects on our lives and our world. In his poem, The Inner History of a Day, John O'Donohue writes, "We seldom notice how each day is a holy place where the Eucharist of the ordinary happens, transforming our broken fragments into an eternal continuity that keeps us. Somewhere in us, a dignity presides that is more gracious than the smallness that fuels us with fear and force, a dignity that trusts the form a day takes." The Eucharist of the ordinary, what a striking phrase. In the Christian tradition, the Eucharist is a ceremony in which bread and wine are consecrated and shared, a holy ritual symbolic of the Last Supper that Jesus shared with his disciples. If each day is a holy place where the Eucharist of the ordinary happens, then each day offers reminders of our connection to the sacred. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, I was in Chicago visiting family, as some of you know. And for much of the fall, I had been watching from afar as colleagues and community members offered their prophetic witness at an immigration detention facility outside the city. Hundreds of people were being detained in cramped conditions with no communication to the outside, no visitors allowed. There were hundreds of people in small cells with no more than 2 open-air toilets available to them in that facility. And people would gather outside and protest. Clergy demanded entry to offer ministry, including the Eucharist. Many were met with force. And while I was in Chicago, I felt called to offer my own presence and witness. By late November, after months of protest and a court order, conditions had shifted at the facility. There were only 4 people that were believed to be held there on the day that I arrived, and a few public officials had been allowed to enter and tour the facility. I arrived the morning after Thanksgiving. It was a bright and bitterly cold day, and volunteers had organized something called a peace picnic. And as I walked over from where I had parked my car a few blocks away, someone was heading home from the picnic. They asked if that was where I was headed. I said, yeah, that's where I'm going. Well, you've got to try the tamales, he told me. They're outstanding. Okay, noted. I tucked that away in my head. I went and I found the colleague that I was meeting, a UU minister from Hinsdale. She called me up to lead a song with her, and we stood at the microphone in the middle of the barricaded free speech zone, accompanied by a small band, one person with a portable keyboard that's slung around her shoulder like a guitar, and a few percussionists sitting on crates. We picked a key for the song, not sure if it was the right one, but no one else knew the song, so they didn't know the difference. We sang, "We are not afraid, we are not afraid, we will live for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made." And when it was time to leave, I stopped at the food table, refilled my paper cup with coffee, and asked about the tamales. "Oh, yes," the volunteer said, lifting the lid of a plastic cooler. And the scent of corn and beans rose into the cold air. I picked up a warm tamale and wrapped it with a napkin. Eucharist of the ordinary. As we return to the routines that await us, the cooking and the commuting, the conversations, the quiet chores, may we remember that reverence for the ordinary is in its own way an act of resistance. To pause, to notice, to honor what is before us is to refuse the pull of cynicism, to refuse to let the world's brutality harden us, to refuse to forget that every day holds its own quiet Eucharist. May the moments we gather, the warm meal and the shared song, the careful lifting of the bus ramp, remind us of who we are called to be. And as we practice noticing the dignity in one another and the beauty that still glimmers in the world, may these small acts of reverence become seeds of compassion, seeds of courage, and seeds of hope. For every sacred moment found in the ordinary prepares us to bless this world with our living, gently, boldly, gratefully, again and again. So may it be. Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, which is number 331 in the gray hymnal, "Life is the Greatest Gift of All."
Life and its riches
close, we extinguish the chalice and carry within each of us its healing flame, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope into the days and weeks ahead. Please join now in our mission statement. We welcome all as we build a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human needs, and protect the earth, our home.
May you go from here alive to all that is sacred and holy, the warm hand of a friend, the gentle smile of a stranger, the laughter shared with a child, the meal served to a neighbor. May you go in peace and return again in love. And we conclude our service with the postlude.